What is going on, my friends? Welcome back to another day at Black Sheep Garage. What do we got going on today? I got an 03 Ram. Customer dropped off earlier. He ordered a kit from Glow Shift. The older versions had an issue. The ones in the truck are from like 2011, so they would just peg out the gauge. I had to put a voltage regulator in it and regulate the voltage to like 12.5. Everything still reads the way it should. They are old on mine, and I do need to replace them with something different. But anyways, wiring, drilling and tapping, lost manifold for the EGT probe, and maybe for the boost gauge. I'm not too sure, but all right, my homies. So we got everything going on here. Simple Glow Shift kit. We got stuff for trans temp. This is to the trans temp. This is EGT. This is for your boost gauge. Accessories. Got our gauges here. Yeah, that's about it, guys. I mean, it should be a pretty simple deal. So put this on time lapse. Alright, my peeps. So basically, I got this already set up. We got our temp, we got our exhaust temp, and we got our boost gauge down here. This is the first one you're going to see. He's going to be towing, watching transmission temps. Exhaust temps would definitely be very important, and your boost pressure down there. So stuff in here, it's better just to stick with the zip ties to keep all this together. Leave slack just in case something happens to a gauge. You still have enough wire to pull it out, to pull the gauge out, and there's not enough wire and the gauge won't even come out of the pod. So I definitely wanted to leave some space, because sometimes I run into issues with this might pop or start leaking and you want to get that out of there. So I left plenty of wire there for that gauge pod to come out. This still has enough slack here for these two pods to come out as well. And as you can see, it's all nicely neat and ready to go. I have all the ends here for the accessory harness to wire that up to 12 volt ground and all that good stuff. Boost tubing there. I would say it does a decent job of matching the interior. It's gonna look better than that because right now he has nothing, so and be good to go. So again, if I run into anything else, I'll let you know. Already got everything finished up. All this ready to go into the, I'm gonna run it all to the firewall, going to the transmission temperature sensor, so that'll go back into the cab. I already got the EGT probe put in, so that's there, drill and tapped. I didn't record that because I'm sure everybody's seen something being drilled and tapped before, so I didn't want to record all that stuff. And then my transmission temp, of course, got it zip tied out of the way. Got it over here, zip tied out of the way, and that's about it. Whoops, I thought I was recording. What a dummy. Alright, his radiator started leaking, so I'm just doing a quick radiator R&R on this. So far, the only thing that you need to do, airbox needs to come out. Of course, clamp, bolt down, slides in, undo clamp, undo bolt or nut. Pull the top part off, take your MAF sensor pigtail off, lay that to the side, pull the box out, lay that to the side. The other thing that needs to be done is first the condenser needs to come out. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, I just picked it up and moved it out a little bit, and then I took the charge air cooler out, and that's one bolt, and that thing just comes out. It just hooks. It hooks right on here. So leave this out here, pull that up and out. That gets that out of the way. The next thing was just pulling the upper hose, upper radiator hose off, pulling the coolant reservoir out, pulling the bolts out of the shroud, these right here, pulling the retaining bolts out of there, 2 on each side. And once you got that, you push your fan shroud back, you take your bolts out of your transmission cooler, slide that out of its retaining clips. The hoses might be jammed up in those, so take a little pry bar, pry those out, get that up and out of the clip, move it out of the way. Once that's all said and done, your radiator is pretty much free swinging. I just folded this hose over and brought it up because if not, it's going to hit there. Hopefully I have enough room to slide over and clear this one because I don't want to take out the washer fluid reservoir. I'll try it like that, see what happens. But basically, guys, once I do that, radiator will come out. Got the new one sitting right here. I will compare the two when I'm done. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, pretty simple task. It's just a radiator. So, well, I'm not gonna say that because I've seen some complicated ass radiators, but this one is not too bad. I've done the one in my O2, and that one was easy as hell as well. So that's a completely different story. That to do a radiator on these things is stupid, but that whole truck is stupid, so I'm not gonna go there right now. But anyways, guys, that's about it. That's what I got going on. I'll probably just do a quick time lapse. I filmed it, gonna use it. So, all right, other than that, I'm gonna put this on time lapse and we'll go. All right, my homies, I forgot to mention the power steering cooler that is bolted to the radiator. 2 bolts. Make sure to take those 2 13 mils out and just let it hang. Other than that, make sure you got yourself an old janitor bucket there for your coolant. These things are actually badass because they hold probably 5 or 6 gallons, and they're lower profile than a 5-gallon bucket. I like these things, so if you need a drain bucket for whatever, those things are awesome. Also, you are going to have to take your charge pipe out. That way, yeah, and I ended up just unbolting that shit because it was going to be too much crap to clear the pedestals on the radiator. So yeah, go ahead, remove your charge pipe on the driver's side, take the bolts out of the reservoir. I didn't remove the charge pipe on the passenger side. I just kind of swept it up and got it hanging out here. But anyways, guys, that's what I needed to let you know. Another thing, what else? Check it out. Check it out. Hell yeah. See? Guys, just finishing up. I forgot to actually take some video of me putting the radiator in, but honestly it's just the reverse of taking it out, as we know that the only thing that's going to get in your way is trying to keep this condenser out of the way while you're trying to get the charger cooler back in. I just use my handy dandy bench here, get up here, kind of put my leg, keep it out of the way while I slide this in from the top, and that's about it, guys. Just make sure everything is ready to go, everything is tight. All charge air cooler clamps are tight, all the bolts for the AC condenser, the bolts for the charge air cooler, the bolts for the transmission cooler. Okay, man. I wanted to try, it's like protein cereal. I've been wanting to try that shit. Thanks, brother. Power steering cooler. All your clamps are tight, the wires are back up, shroud is good and going. Another thing I was going to do a review on is this bad boy right here. Now this is the Maddox cooling system test and refill kit. This thing is badass. It's probably cheaper than most of the tool truck crap. And I think it's about the same price on Amazon. I'm not too sure, but I think this one's a little bit better. So I'd rather deal with the Harbor Freight shit than dealing with the Amazon stuff all the time, because I can just go to Harbor Freight if I got an issue or a gripe or a complaint. So anyways, guys, one of the big important factors of using these test and refill kits, especially on a diesel, is if I was just to pour coolant into this radiator with a funnel, you're going to end up with air pockets. Not so much right now because all I did was drain the radiator, but if you drain the block and everything, you definitely need to use one of those. I use it because I don't want air pockets. Air pockets causes heat. Heat causes hot spots in cylinders, and that's not a good thing. So, or hot spots in the head, and that's not a good thing either. So I always recommend using a vacuum to basically make sure you're not getting air pockets in your cooling system. All right, so basically that's what this thing does. You'll hook up your shop air to this side, and it's just a venturi. So as soon as you open this valve, make sure this back valve is closed, and to close that off, you just twist it that way. That's off. Right now the air is off. You twist that on, it's going to push air through here, create a venturi or suction inside here, and it's going to pull air out of the cooling system. You're usually going to get down to about 25, 26 inches HG, and that's about normal for these systems to get down that far. Once you're down and you're probably around 25 or so, go ahead and shut this valve, keep the other valve shut as well, and just let it sit there and see if it leaks down. If it doesn't leak down, then you got a good cooling system and you're ready to go. Once you go to refill, you'll take this bad boy right here and you will stick that in your coolant or your bucket of coolant. Make sure it's as close as possible to the apparatus, as I'm gonna call it. And once you got that thing submerged in coolant, you're gonna pop this valve back here, and that's gonna allow coolant to be sucked in and fill your cooling system with no air pockets or air bubbles inside your cooling system, to avoid any type of overheating issues, hot cylinders, hot spots, pre-ignition, anything like that, engine knock. All that shit can be caused by hot spots in here. And so if you're gonna refill a cooling system, I recommend pull a vacuum on it and make sure your cooling system is good, and that way you pull a vacuum on it and there's no leaks, you know you're good to go before you go ahead and fill it, and then shit starts pouring out all over the place because of that. All right, so if you're gonna invest your money in something, if you're doing cooling systems often, I recommend this guy right here. That way you know there's no air, you know you got a good seal, and you know you got a good cooling system. All right, for the most part. I can't tell you anything about a dirty cooling system, anything like that. That's for you to determine, not me. But other than that, guys, I just wanted to do a quick review on this. Again, this is the Maddox from Harbor Freight. So far, it's worked on pretty much everything that I've needed it to work on. It's worked on the 7.3s from Ford. It's worked on 6.0s. It's worked on the 6.4s. It's worked on the 6.7s. Obviously, it's working on this 5.9 right here. I've used it on the 0259. I have not tried it on the 17, but I'm sure it would work. I don't see why it wouldn't. But so far, it works on everything that I need. It comes with 6 adapters and your stupid 3/8 quick connect fitting. So if you're in the market or need something like this, I recommend you pick one up. They work pretty badass. You can see this hose all sucked in. Let that ride for a bit. Side. I'm gonna pull that off. And we'll sit here and watch this for a bit. And if we don't have any movement, then you're pretty much leak free. I mean, it might leak down just a tiny little bit, but for the most part, it's holding a vacuum. So that's that stage. Hold on one sec. All right, guys. So I'm sitting about 26 or so right now. It's been sitting for a while, so you're gonna take your little diddly do here, stick it in this stuff over here, and you're gonna pop this valve open, and you're gonna see it sucked down all that coolant. So now it's sucking it down. And yeah, that coolant looks dirty, but that's from some of the crap that came from in between the radiator and the coolers, but it's alright. We got a strainer on this thing, and the water pump will make bug shakes out of it anyway. So all in all, guys, that is basically the gist of it. But like I said, it's definitely worth the investment. It's better than filling and trying to get it to burp and all that other crap that you got to do. Granted, you need an air compressor, but I mean, if you're going to be working on anything, you need an air compressor no matter what. So alright, guys, other than that, it works great. I've had no issues with it. I've been using it for a while, probably about 2 years already. So that's my review of this bad boy right now. So we're gonna go ahead and get this finished off. I gotta make sure this doesn't run out of coolant, and we'll catch you later. Later, guys.